say something about religion. The pessimistic comment is that if we agree about this existential needing that people have, and in a totally non-condescending way, that liberalism does not answer it, and consciously does not answer it, it would be against liberalism, then all three options, again, I'm leaving Israel, I'm going to place myself in Europe, I don't want to get into trouble. So religion is dead in Europe, so it's not offering an answer. The other big system, which we don't talk about anymore because of its spectacular failures, are the various versions of red-blooded socialism and communism. So that's no longer an option. Nationalism we reject as atavistic, as at least the version of nationalism which is on offer today in Europe is crypto-fascist. So that doesn't seem to be an option. So the crisis of liberalism is destined to continue, because either the gap will be filled by one of these systems which normatively we disagree with, or that gap will remain open and it will be filled by that, even though we think it's undesirable from a liberal point of view. The comment of religion is, it's a mistake that we commonly make. When we talk about religion, we talk about church and state, etc., and we tend to conflate all religions, at least all Abrahamic religions, and we put them in the same pot. So we think about Judaism, Christianity, Islam, we all call them as religion. But exactly in terms of the the liberal project, including the flourishing liberal project, there's a big difference among the religions. You find on one hand the modern version of Christianity, and on the other hand Islam and Judaism. And from a liberal theory point of view, what is the project? That Christianity, certainly Protestants and the Catholics since the Second Vatican Council in 1965, they have embraced as a religious proposition, they are against religious coercion. They say it's not the will of God that anybody should be coerced to worship God in the name of religion, because that's not true belief. So religion itself, not because of liberal principles, but because of religious principles, is against religious coercion. Islam and Judaism don't have a problem with religious coercion. They say if the normative system of Islam and Judaism, it's God's will that people will not work on the Shabbat, then it's totally legitimate to try and make people with the instruments of the state not to work on Shabbat, not to drive on Shabbat, not to do a whole other things. If religion says that there's a problem of gender, so if that's God's will, then the state is entitled by religious precept to try and enforce standards of tzniut or what have you. So there's a difference between religions. We can't throw them all into the same bucket. And there are many different, I could speak for 2 days on the differences between the three religions, but in terms of the liberal project, that is the big difference. That Christianity as a religious proposition is against religious coercion, whereas Judaism and Islam as a religious proposition favor religious coercion.